Hello, my name is Keith Dial. Tonight I'll be reading from Psalms 22, verses 1 through 21, the Lament of David. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? O my God, I cry in the daytime, and thou answerest not. And in the night season am not silent, but thou art holy. O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel, our fathers trusted in thee. They trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not put to shame. But I am a worm, and no man, a reproach of men, a despised of the people. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip, they shake their head, saying, Commit thyself to Jehovah. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him. Seeth that he delighteth in him. But thou art he who took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me trust when I was upon my mother's breasts. I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my God since my mother bare me. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have encompassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me around. They gape upon me with their mouths as a ravening and roaring lion. I am poured out like water. All of my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted within me. My strength is dried up like a potsherd. My tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of death. For dogs have encompassed me. A company of evildoers have enclosed me. They've pierced my hands and my feet. I may count all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them, and upon my vesture do they cast lots. But be thou not far off, O Jehovah. O thou, my succor, haste thee to come help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dogs. Save me from the lion's mouth, yea, from the horns of the wild oxen. Thou hast answered me. David pleads for deliverance for his suffering and hostility in this passage. Among the Israelites, prayers of lament were a common thing. This is often communicated the desperation of the king and the people. In lament, the people of God bring back God's promises to their ancestors and how God delivered them from their iniquities. In truth, the lament also reminds people what God required of them. In King David's case, the biblical history shows us that David consistently does great things, followed by his pride causing him to sin, and some of those sins are almost unforgivable. But eventually he feels the weight of that sin and goes to God, and in pointing out God's promises, recognizes that God could turn away from him, but will not, because David is so sincere in his request for forgiveness that God forgives him his sins and returns him to the fold of believers. In reflection questions, what does your prayer of lament look like when you feel like no one is coming? How you wait patiently when it feels like your prayers are not being answered. Please join me in a word of prayer. God, my God, don't dump me. I need you more and more. Help me in my unbelief to trust you. Rescue me from my wandering mind and guide my heart to find your path. My God, do not forsake me. Deliver me from sins. Amen.
He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth, and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be, 'cause he's still working on me. There really ought to be a sign upon my heart. Don't judge me yet, there's an unfinished part. But I'll be perfect just according to his plan, fashioned by the Master's loving hand. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be, 'cause he's still working on me. In the mirror of his word, reflections that I see make me wonder why he never gave up on me. But he loves me as I am and helps me when I pray. Remember, he's the potter, I'm the clay. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be, 'cause he's still working